Connie Corleone and Carlo Rizzi's wedding celebration is being attended by guests in late summer of 1945. Friends and acquaintances refer to Vito, the boss of the Corleone Mafia, as Godfather. He and Tom Hagen, the Corleone family attorney, are listening to requests for favors since, in accordance with Italian custom, no Sicilian can refuse a request on his daughter's wedding day. Amerigo Bonacera, a prosperous mortician and friend of the Don, is one of the individuals who asks the Don for a favor. Amerigo's daughter was viciously assaulted by two young men after she rejected their advances. The criminals received light punishment from the presiding court. The Don is disappointed in Bonacera because of Corleone's shady business operations, which prevented Bonacera from having much contact with the Don. The link between the godmother of Bonacera's disgraced daughter and the Don's wife allows the Don to gain the Undertaker's new devotion. In exchange for future service, the Don consents to have his men punish the guilty young men in a non-lethal manner. While at the wedding, the Don's youngest son Michael, a decorated U.S. Marine hero who served in World War II, tells his girlfriend Kay Adams anecdotes about his family, including his father's criminal life. He reassures her that he is different from his family and doesn't intend to join them in their criminal dealings. Corleone's godson Johnny Fontane, a famous singer, is also a guest at the party and has traveled from Hollywood to ask Vito for aid in getting a role in a movie that may revive his career. Jack Woltz, the chairman of the studio, rejects Fontane's application for the role, which will make him a big star. Johnny pleaded to the Don to help him get the role. Don Corleone told Johnny he will get the role because he is gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. Virgil the Turk Sollazzo, who is being backed by the rival Tattaglia family, came to see the Don. He asks Don Corleone for financial support as well as political and legal protection for importing and selling heroin. Despite the huge profit to be had, Vito Corleone declines, claiming that doing so would undermine his political influence because the judges and politicians he has allied himself with over many years would break off their friendships with him. Sonny, the Don's eldest son, who had earlier encouraged the family to engage in the drug trade, breaks ranks during the meeting and starts to doubt Sollazzo's claims that the Tattaglia family will guarantee the Corleone family's investment. Sonny's father silences him with a single glance after becoming enraged at his disagreement with a non-family member and subsequently reprimands him in private. Don Corleone is shot in an attempted assassination outside of his office shortly after his meeting with Sollazzo, and it is not clear if he survived. Sollazzo abducts Tom Hagen and holds him for several hours, persuading him to offer Sonny the deal previously offered to his father. When Tom is released, Sollazzo gets word that the Don has survived the attempt on his life. He angrily tells Tom to convince Sonny to accept his offer. Furious, Sonny refuses accept the offer and gives the Tattaglias the choice of turning over Sollazzo or engaging in a brutal and expensive gang war that will bad for both sides. They decline and instead send Sonny a Sicilian message, two fresh fish wrapped in Luca Brassi's bulletproof vest, informing the Corleones that Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes. After supper with Kay at her hotel, Michael, who the other Mafia families view as a civilian because he does not engage in the family business, goes to see his father in the hospital. When he arrives, he is surprised to see that no one is watching his father. The nurse explains that the guys were breaking hospital rules and were asked to leave by the police approximately 10 minutes before he arrived. Noticing that an attempt will be made on his father's life again, he phones Sonny for assistance. He takes his father to another room and walks outside to keep an eye on the door. Enzo the baker, who has visited the hospital to pay his respects to the Don, offers his assistance to Michael. They deceive Sollazzo's soldiers as they drove by pretending that they had a gun. Sollazzo called a meeting with the Corleones after the failed attempt on the Don's life at the hospital. Captain McCluskey will act as Sollazzo's security for the meeting. Sonny and the other senior family members laugh when Michael offers to murder both men at the meeting. Nevertheless, Michael persuades them that he is serious and that killing Sollazzo and McCluskey is in the family's best interests. It's not personal. It's all about business. No one will suspect him because they all know he is a civilian. Clemenza meets with Michael and gives him a tiny handgun after taping the trigger and grip to hide any fingerprint traces. He advises Michael to leave the pistol behind and gives him instructions on how to carry out the murder. Before Michael, Sollazzo, and McCluskey arrive for the meeting, the Corleones' informers located the meeting's location and hide the handgun for Michael in the restroom. Before the meeting starts, McCluskey searches Michael for weapons but finds none. The meeting is taking place in a restaurant. After speaking in Italian for a while with Sollazzo, Michael excuses himself to visit the restroom where he finds the hidden handgun. When he gets back to the table, he kills McCluskey first before killing Sollazzo. Michael is ordered to hide in Sicily. The Don is devastated to find that Michael killed Sollazzo and McCluskey. The Don receives word of Sonny's murder through Tom Hagen. Instead of seeking retribution for the death of Sonny, Don Corleone meets with the leaders of the five families to discuss a truce. In addition to depleting all of their resources and endangering their lives, the dispute must be resolved in order for Michael to return home safely. Vito reverses his former position and accepts that the Corleone family will support Tattaglia's heroin trade as long as it is controlled and not supplied to minors. Don Corleone concludes at the meeting that Don Barzini, not Tattaglia, was ultimately responsible for the outbreak of the mob war and Sonny's death. Michael endures his exile in Sicily under the protection of Don Tomasino, a longtime family friend. Michael and his constant bodyguards Carlo and Fabrizio roam aimlessly across the countryside. Michael meets Apollonia Vitelli, the lovely young daughter of a bar owner, and develops feelings for her. They engage in traditional Sicilian courtship and marriage, but soon Michael's presence is discovered by Corleone foes. One day, Tomasino delivers the unfavorable news of Sonny's murder to Michael as he is training his new wife to drive a car. Michael was been taken to more secure area. As the pair prepares to depart, a rigged bomb intended for Michael explodes on ignition, killing Apollonia. Michael, who witnessed the explosion, notices Fabrizio hastily leaving the premises seconds before the explosion, implicating him in the assassination attempt. Michael returned home from exile knowing he will be safe. After a total of 4 years apart, 3 in Italy and 1 in America, he meets up with his former flame Kay more than a year later, in 1950. He declares his desire for them to get married. Kay accepts his offer despite being annoyed that he took so long to get in touch with her. Michael is in control of the family business now that Don Vito is semi-retired, Sonny is deceased, and his elder brother Frito is deemed unable to operate the family business. Michael assures Kay that he will fully legalize the family business within 5 years. Tom Hagen is no longer the consigliere, instead, he is the family's attorney. Hagen asks Michael in private why he was removed as the family consigliere and also about covert establishment of a new government of soldiers by Rocco Lampin. Hagen is informed by Don Vito that Michael is following his advice. About a year later, Michael makes a trip to Las Vegas and meets with Mo Green, a wealthy and cunning casino owner, seeking to diversify his business ventures. After the Don's attempted murder, Frito had been dispatched to Las Vegas to study with Green about the gambling industry. Michael makes an aggressive attempt to buy Green out, but he is angrily rejected. Green thinks Barzini will give him a better deal and that the Corleones are weak. Frito sides with Mo during the tense negotiation between Michael and Mo. Michael issues Frito a warning when Mo abruptly leaves the meeting, telling him never to take sides with anyone against the family. Michael comes back home. In a private conversation, Vito shares his belief that Michael will be killed by the family's adversaries, who will set up a meeting as a cover for the crime. Vito also admits that he had always hoped his youngest son will be free of the family business and would have legal authority as a senator or governor, and that he had never actually planned for Michael to live a life of crime. A few months later, while playing with his young grandson Anthony in his tomato garden, Vito passes away suddenly. Tessio delivers a meeting request to Barzini during the funeral, revealing himself to be the traitor Vito had been anticipating. Kay asks Michael if he'll accept to serve as the baby boy's godfather for Connie and Carlo. Michael accepts, taking advantage of the chance to get rid of the other 5 families as rivals, while also using the baptism as a defense. During the ceremony, there are 2 murders that happen at once. An unnamed assailant shoots Mo Green through the eye while he is receiving a massage, killing him. At the St. Regis Hotel, a revolving door traps Don Cuneo, who is then fatally shot by soldier Willie Cicci. Rocco Lampin and an unidentified companion murder Don Tattaglia in bed with a prostitute. Al Neri, dressed as his former police outfit, shoots Don Barzini, his bodyguard, and his chauffeur to death on the steps of his office building. Tessio thinks he and Hagen are headed to the meeting he has set up between Michael and Barzini after the baptism. Instead, as Hagen moves away, he is encircled by Willie Cicci and other button men. Tessio admits to having betrayed Michael after learning that Michael has exposed him, telling Hagen that he has always admired Michael and that his treachery was only business. For old time's sake, he asks Tom if he may let him go, but Tom declines. Tessio is taken away and is never seen again. Michael questioned Carlo about Sonny's death and pushes him to acknowledge his involvement in planning the ambush. Carlo told Michael that Barzini reached out to him personally and it was Barzini's personal bodyguards who killed Sonny. Michael promised Carlo he won't be killed, but that he would be barred from any family business as payment for his involvement. A plane ticket was given to him to exile Las Vegas. Clemenza, acting under Michael's direction, kills Carlo as soon as he enters a vehicle bound for the airport. Later, while movers remove the furniture in preparation for the family's trip to Nevada, a frantic Connie confronts Michael at the Corleone ranch. She claims that he killed Carlo to get revenge for both his cruel treatment of her and his alleged involvement in Sonny's death. She also claims that he cunningly waited until their father passed away so Vito couldn't intervene. After Connie was escorted out of the house, Kay asks Michael about Connie's claim, but he declines to comment and warns her not to inquire about his business. She pushes, and Michael flatly lies and reassures her that he had nothing to do with Carlo's death. Kay feels relieved and believes him. Clemenza and the new Caporigins Rocco Lampin and Al Neri arrive and pay their respects to Michael. Clemenza gives Michael a kiss on the hand and addresses him as Don Corleone. Kay observes as the office door closes. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave your comments below. To see more videos like this, please subscribe, turn on notifications and leave a like to help out the channel.